What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Squash. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Skady. The map is Painted Desert. It's currently 1-0 in this best of 3 losers bracket, best of the best tournament. Remember, it's hosted by DoD Shelty, so throw him some love if you see him around. And Skady just had a really good position against Squash in that first game there, but kind of threw it. And we're moving into the second game on Painted Desert. This is definitely a more favorable map for Skady, given the how the map looks. It's definitely, he doesn't know just yet, but definitely a more favorable map. More spread out hunt makes life very difficult for the Ra player. We can see it's a 4 zebra start, not a nice start for Ra players at all. You kind of want to have somewhere in the, you kind of want to have 1,000 resources, 900 to 1,000 food in your starting hunt. Only 800 food makes your opening build orders very, very painful indeed. Does mean you kind of either have to eat the chicken or move to your second hunt early, which can be bad. So we'll see how Squash is going to deal with that. We're seeing him go for the same build order here. But the reason why this sort of map for Skady is incredibly good, as opposed to, say, that watering hole map, is that the town centers are really, really far away from each other, which does definitely favor the Zeus player. It means that Mercenary very rarely are ever going to be able to be used on the offensive, if at all. The only real way you can use Mercenary on the offensive against a Greek player is in this situation, is going to be with Shifting Sands, which are obviously never going to be seen used. Which means Skady has got options here. He can go for, like we said, he can go for a timing push with Hephaestus, with the Underworld. He can go for that. He can go for the same strategy he did in that last game. Quick 3 town centers into Hephaestus, not Hera. Only go Hephaestus if you feel like you need to defend the timing push. If you need to defend the timing push, it basically means your opponent shouldn't be going Mythic Age, because they've invested everything into the timing push. They've gotten their upgrades, they've gotten their units out, they've gotten a lot of stuff to bolster the attack. But we'll see exactly what Skady is going to be doing very, very soon. We see some nice micro here from Squash, having to eat these elephant nice and early. But it's tough though, because these elephant take so long to get killed that the amount of resources you gain from the elephant is less technically than if you were over here on the zebra or over here on the gazelle. However, eating them this early for Squash essentially means that he's going to be having a really, really fun time in this game, in the early stages of the game. And now, to continue this thought process of the reason why Squash may be forward on this elephant, Squash may be considering making some Rax units this game, making some Spearmen, going for some raids. Given that Skady has given away the strategy that he wants to employ here, Squash going for a fast advance time, which it looks like he's going for. The temple's coming up. If he goes for a fast advance time here, throws down a barracks or 2, makes some Spearmen, he's going to be able to raid this food. He's going to be able to raid this food. Obviously, he can't raid this food if there's a town center there, and he can't raid this food exactly if there's a town center there. The Spearmen are definitely going to be able to do some damage. Also, very open gold mine here that Squash can push into. So we'll see. Some houses coming up now for Squash. Villagers coming over here for him as well to grab these gazelle. Spotting the town center. And the idle villagers for Squash feels bad.
You need to hack.
There we go. Granary coming in. A little bit slow, but it's totally fine. Tar is coming through. Skady going through Athena as well. I'm a little bit surprised at the Athena. I'm not sure if the only reason to go Athena is to counter the Locust. It could be in a world where Locust always does damage. But generally speaking, your average Locust is going to do anywhere in the vicinity of 3. We bolted this again. Anywhere in the vicinity of 3 to 5 villager kills. So that's an average Locust. Obviously, a good Locust is going to be 10 villagers, but you don't see that very often. Oh, nice path blocking from the Katoska pass as he... Oh, he doesn't get it. Oh, that's so sad. The villager jumps into the watchtower. Ah, what can you do? He has picked up the Wedged Eye, negative 10% myth unit cost. He's also got the Scarab Pendant back at home, which is the bonus damage against buildings. So we'll see. But I was thinking that maybe Ceasefire here is better because it's going to delay the Osiris timing push by a minute, which means you get out the extra armory upgrades that you need to defend or anything like that. It gives you the extra time at any point, gives you some time to underworld, get whatever you feel like. But we're not seeing Skady go for that. He's going for his Athena, wants that one out. We don't see any buildings out just yet for Skady. Is he going for a fast heroic? No armory, so he has to be going for a town center, right? Armory up for Squash. Just one town center from Squash. That's wild. Is this just to counter the 3 town centers? He's going for a Scarab Rush? How many monuments does he have? Just the one monument. I mean, I'm incredibly confused. I don't know. Ooh, nice raid here from Squash. No box setup, so he can't shifting sands the units in. But what is Squash going for? He doesn't even have pickaxe at this point. He's advanced to the heroic age incredibly fast. 2 town centers up for Skady. I guess Squash is like, I can get a lot of value out of some early units here against the 2 town center with all the exposed hunt on the map. If you can push off that hunt, there's not that many goats here. So if you can push off the hunt, the 2 town centers is not that good. I mean, his base is so defensive. I don't know why you would... I don't know. Look at the score right now for Squash. 485 at 7 minutes into the game. Obviously, a lot of that is in this tech, but you don't see that very often. Granary going up for Squash. Going to be eating these chicken next. Let's see where he's going to go with the Pharaoh. He sees the 2 town centers is up, and he's going to throw down the Migdol Stronghold immediately. And we're going to see the Wadjet and the Rock and the Patsuchos going into the Rock. And he should basically just jump this way, go up, and then just start raiding. And we'll see what Squash can do here. He's very much behind right now, so he's going to have to find some value by either Locust, the Rock raids, or Chariot raids. Those are his options here. He's playing this a little bit like Isis here, except without the Ancestors Eclipse. So we'll see how he goes. Units now streaming in for Skady. For some reason, he's building out Hoplite here, which is a worrying sign considering how much food they cost. The fact you're going to need a ton of... obviously, you're going to need a ton of cavalry considering we haven't seen a rain from Squash. There's no way he's going to be making cavalry here. He's only going to be making chariot archers. So Hippocon are the answer to this. And maybe Skady can get a gold staff or something like that. We do see the Patsuchos raids here. The Odysseus not sent home. Big mistake from Skady. As soon as you see the Horus come in, you got to send those heroes home defending against rock raids. These rocks are going to get a few too many kills, I think, in this matchup. As he moves in, villagers here getting pushed back into the town center. Town center going to be shooting arrows here. Gets a little bit of damage done, but... most of these villages are going to be okay. The Wadjet and the Patsuchos dropping here. Meanwhile, over here, we see a Hoplite getting sniped. And the villager does get away. Nope, Skady not paying attention. The villager's fast enough to get away from the Wadjet and the Patsuchos. The villager's trying to get back onto this food right now because Squash struggling for food here. Chariot Archers moving in, able to snipe more of these Hoplites. Skady got to be very, very regretfully building those Hoplites in this game at this point because the Chariot Archers can just snipe them all. We see the Hippocon coming in. We see a villager getting sniped. The house not going up. The cavalry coming in. Skady, Squash just going to be retreating now. No problems here. Going to be trying to snipe off the Jason here. The Odysseus still nowhere to be found. He's over here on the wrong side of the map. The Rock just having a field day here. Locust can come down on this location. He does cast the Locust. He's going to get 3 villager kills. That's how much Locust gets. Locust, on average, 3 villager kills. 3 to 5 villager kills.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε,
Hippocon coming in.
πρόσταγμα.
That's just a really nice reaction from Skady. He could have also moved the villagers up here and maybe lost none. But meanwhile, the Rock's still chasing him around in his base, and Squash is in such a good position here, though, even after the woeful Locust. But there's still a restoration to come forward here. The gold mine is just about out. Skady's on, he's only on 60 population. Squash is at 84 population, and Skady's just going to tap out. Not even going to try. Oh, dear. Oh dear. Skady, a little bit mind gamed here, a little bit maybe unused to the one town center Ra. But if anybody remembers back to the old days where Ra and Isis, or more so Isis, dominated the meta, Isis would go one town center, chariot archer raids against everyone. And then the answer to this was developed for Greek players. They decided, or they developed, the 2 town center Hermes play. And the answer to the chariot archer raids was 2 town centers, Hippocon spam, medium cav, heavy cav. And the chariot archers just didn't get any value, and the 2 town centers pushed you so much further in front. Now, what Skady did was so close to right. All he needed was to, instead of make the military academy, make a second stable. Then these chariot archers look very, very, very much like they're not that useful here. And then the Rock, obviously, that was a different story. Needed his Odysseus at home. But Squash making the one town center Ra look strong again. Even though it's this was simply just a huge outplay from Squash, and a nice strategic decision for him to go for the one town center here. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.